Hello everyone. Welcome to ASHRAE Mumbai chapter. My name is Nivedita Jadhav. I am the current chapter president. This is a series of webinars that we have termed as Grow with ASHRAE. And as part of our Leadership Recall series, where we interview our past presidents, we have our guest today, Nitin Naik, our, as I said, the past president and the current regional vice chair membership. So, Nitin, I'm happy to welcome you at this Leadership Recall series of ASHRAE Mumbai chapter.
Thank
Along
you.
with me, thank you, Nitin. Along with me, we also have a young engineer of ASHRAE Mumbai chapter, Ravi Shah. Ravi, welcome to you as well. And thank you for being our co-host, my co-host for this record for this session. So Ravi is also the regional research promotion chair for the chapter, and a very young and dynamic person who has offered to be the co-host for the session. So Ravi, I will hand over the dais to you, and you could take lead in interviewing Nitin Naik.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for making me part of this conversation. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Nitinji, and welcome to the conversation. For the sake of background, can you please help users, viewers to understand your professional journey?
By qualification, I'm an electrical engineer and I am based out of Goa. So I was working with a number of pharmaceutical companies in Goa before I actually got into this HVAC field as an entrepreneur. So I started my journey as an entrepreneur in the year 2000 in the field of HVAC.
That's great. Can you also explain us why had you joined ASHRAE? What made you choose to join to be part of ASHRAE?
I started my business in the year 2000. I was associated with HVAC companies. I was representing them. And I always felt the need for networking amongst the HVAC fraternity. So I remember in the year 2004, I joined ASHRAE. ASHRAE had an event in Goa, and that's how I became part of the air conditioning society as such. And then later, through ASHRAE members, I got introduced to ASHRAE. In fact, I became an ASHRAE member in the year 2009. And I remember that I joined the Western India chapter. And it was Manoj Khati, I think, who was the president of the Western India chapter, who actually enrolled me. And I became a part of that chapter. And subsequently, when that chapter branched out into Pune and Mumbai, then I was part of the Mumbai chapter.
That's great. And then eventually you had also been the chance of being the president of the chapter, maybe in the year 2016 or 17. Can you explain us your experience of being the president?
Of course, I started in the year 2009, and I think right from that year, I have been part of the BOG of either Western India chapter or the ASHRAE Mumbai chapter. I was the president for the year 16-17 society year. Now, if you ask me my experience that time, I must have forgotten most of the things, but I remember that we had a very good society year because we ended up doing some very good CTTC events that year. I remember that we used to make extensive use of the textile auditorium in Mumbai, where we used to not incur very huge expenses, but we had very what you say, very interesting topics where we focused on, and we had these full day CTTC events over there, which I think added value to the chapter also.
So, Ravi, I'll take a couple of questions
Sure.
before we
Sure.
close this episode today. Nitin, your journey you've had, I think this is your third year as a SRC, sub-region chair, or rather second term as at regional level. You were the SRC and now the regional vice chair. So how has been your regional experience, and what is it that you would like to tell our members or the current BOG members who would probably aspire to rise up the level? Some advice that you would want to give to them.
Yes, so somewhere in the year 2016, I remember that the region at large was undergoing a change where Europe wanted to exit from the region and form its own region called Region 14. And that's when I got involved, and I was, along with Richie Mittal, the two of us represented the Indian chapters, and we were part of the process which carved out what is today's region at large. We actually helped, even carve out the present sub-regions along with other regional leaders in region at large. So the present region at large began somewhere in the year 2016, 2017. And also that happened to be the year 2017 happened to be the year when I started my tenure as the sub-region chair for sub-region 2 in the region at large. So I was the first sub-region chair for this sub-region 2, because we never had this sub-region 1 and 2 before that. We always had sub-region A, B, C, and D when we had Europe with us. So that tenure was extremely interesting, because it was a completely different experience for me to coordinate between the chapters in India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh. Also, during my tenure, I was lucky that we had 3 additional chapters in this sub-region in Chandigarh, East India, and Rajasthan. And for a long time, we were hoping to carve out chapters from these regions in India, under which were actually the geographical area was under the India chapter. So I think that would be a major achievement. Of course, most of the credit would go to India chapter, who actually did most of the work or all the work to initiate these chapters.
So the last question is what for ASHRAE Mumbai chapter, as a past president, if you have to express your expectation of where it should go, what all should it be doing? So since my tenure is kind of ending in this June, but for the future leadership, what is your advice or aspiration that you would like to express out?
I think ASHRAE Mumbai chapter is definitely doing well. It's one of the most vibrant chapters in our region. And I think I'm sure in the last 2 years, we've seen that our membership has grown up, where it is now more realistic. In fact, Mumbai has such huge potential that our membership never matched that. I think the next task for Mumbai would be to concentrate more on corporates, like you've been doing in the last 2 years, to increase your membership a little more. But more than that, I would say that you need to look at certain areas beyond Mumbai. If we could make inroads, like I know that we have a good presence in Thane, but I do not know if there are areas beyond Thane, possibly even areas like Nasik. We do have potential in other parts of Maharashtra, which do not come under, of course, the Pune chapter. So I think you need to look at that. And as far as programs are concerned, I'm sure everyone knows that Mumbai chapter does good programs. We've just finished with the developing economies, and we should look at giving value to our members through programs.
So thank you, Nitin. This interaction has been quite insightful to Ravi and myself, both of us. I'm sure all our other members who watch this video will also be enlightened and would look forward to being part of ASHRAE Mumbai chapter, and also to our VOG members to rise at the regional level. Thank you very much for being our guest today, and we look forward to your blessings and association for the growth of this chapter. Thank you, Ravi, for hosting this event for me, and we look forward to meeting in person and having a better interaction. Thank you.
Thank you, Nitin sir. Thank you, Nivedita. Thanks a lot.